Now, the Earth as we know it today is not the same as it was 50,000, 100, or 200,000 years ago. That's an absolute fact. Things change and evolve due to weather cycles, freezing, warming, the rising tides, the tectonic plates, shifts in poles. Species also evolve and change. Some that are here now, some that are from eras long gone. The viral genetic mutations that have happened along the way are something we're going to delve into today. Welcome back to Arkansas Bigfoot, everybody. Great to see all of you today. Well, let's ask ourselves the question, are we the genetic mutation or are we the OG?
Good question.
What came first, the chicken or the egg? Literally, something that we're going to get into a little bit in depth today, so come on and let's get with it. You know, at the beginning of the video, I was talking about the way that the Earth has changed and evolved, and continents move and shift according to volcanic explosion, tectonic plate movement, say a meteorite, all kinds of things that have happened over the ages, you know, hundreds of thousands of years of changing and shifting and morphing. Adapting. And it's not just the planet itself. Different species along the way have been susceptible to this. And what brought this up today was a trip out to the hen house to get some eggs to leave out here for Junior. And I know everyone is familiar with the basic chickens, you know, red, white, different multicolored, brown egg layers, white egg layers. But then there's a particular breed, the OG, called the Araucana. And for all practical purposes, it comes from Chile, from the Araucana region of Chile. And it lays a blue egg. And of course now over the years it's been bred with other varieties of chickens to create the Americana and the Easter egger, so on and so forth, that lay a blue or a green or kind of a tinted color egg. And there's a few other species of chicken out there that, or species isn't the right word, I'm going to say variety of chicken out there that lay that egg too. So you're thinking, all right, what's all this got to do with Bigfoot? Well, I'm going to tell you. All right, so does anybody know why the Americana lays a blue egg?
I do.
You do?
I do now.
You do now. It's due to the rhinovirus, a very violent viral strain that attacked them. Now originally, genetically, these birds were no different than a lot of the oriental jungle fowl of the time, the ancestors of most of the modern poultry that's out there today. And thousands of years ago, when Polynesians and different peoples were traversing the Pacific in their homemade rafts and dugout canoes and searching for new islands and new lands, some of them landed in South America, and they had their breed of poultry with them.
To trade.
So anyway, these picked up a very nasty rhinovirus somewhere along the process of that, or maybe when they got into South America, I'm not exactly sure. But it mutated the bird, altered the genetics, altered their DNA. And all of a sudden they started growing tufts on the sides of their ears. Their body became a little more oblong shaped, and their skull is more slanted. They lost their tail, so they're rumpless.
No tailbone.
But the biggest factor is it mutated the gene that determines the color of the egg, so they lay a blue egg.
And it affected their mortality rate.
And so the average hatching rate on these, if you were to say put a dozen eggs under a hen or under an incubator, you get about 40%, 35 to 40%, whereas others are in the 80% range under a hen. So yeah, the mortality rate is a lot higher during the incubation process.
Which is part of why they started integrating other breeds with them to help stabilize the genes and raise the mortality rate.
Okay, so there's that little bit of information and history about the Americana that lays the blue egg. So once again, what's that got to do with Bigfoot? Well, there was a conversation with Anku several months back, and the comment that he made essentially was, at one time, we were like you.
He said we were a beautiful people once like you.
And some of you will become like us. I believe he was talking about a viral genetic mutation.
Definitely raised it as a potential.
So there's a large consensus out there in the Bigfoot community. Some of them are leaning to the side that the Sasquatch were a byproduct of Anunnaki engineering. And there's another group that insists that they're Nephilims, or that they're demons. Yeah, everybody's got a right to their own thoughts and their own opinions. Simple logic might be that it was just a simple mutation from some type of a viral attack. Meteorite showers that damaged the atmosphere at the time opened the way for all different strains of things to attack every species on the planet.
He's mentioning radiation as being a cause. Primary cause is what I'm hearing.
So that is my thought to put out there to entertain for today. It doesn't always have to be some nefarious, deep, dark, evil thing that causes something to happen the way that it happens. It can be something as simple as a common virus or a common bacteria gone wild. changes and alters the DNA structure, just like on these birds. And they're not the only species of animal on the planet that has affected that way. It's happened all over the globe. That's just one instance to use as an example. So toxic space dust, would that be a plausible thing?
Toxic space dust. Well, Hanku has spoken of, he calls it red air. And the way that he had presented it was that it's iron oxide, which is rust, basically. But he was very specific to that. And it seemed that his concern, it wasn't, the way that I understood it wasn't that the actual iron oxide was so dangerous to breathe, but that it had magnetic properties and had the capability of having other molecules or pollens or different things that can affect the body cling to it.
Attached to it in a way so it would
And it
cling to the molecular walls of our DNA chain.
Right, and when he brought it up, I didn't honestly know if he was referring to what had happened to them or what he was trying to have us guard against. And so I haven't really put a lot of information about it out there because I don't know. But it was fascinating, and I got the sense that for a very long time they actually had to go underground because the Earth's surface wasn't safe. And then the way that he showed it to me, the way that they knew that the surface was finally safe, it felt like there was a hole. And I could see, as I was looking at it, I could see daylight through it and plant life. And when they saw the plant life, they knew it had restabilized. And that's just the input I got. So a lot of people associate these guys with caves, and that may well be a very strong part of their history for a good reason.
You know, in some parts of the country where caves are prevalent, it may still be that way.
Absolutely.
But, you know, that kind of stuck with me, that comment that he made. We were once like you, and some of you will become like us.
Well, somebody had asked what they could do for the people, and his response was, accept us. Accept us. We were beautiful people like you once. And it really kind of made me extra emotional because I could feel the sincerity behind that. You know, there's been such a separation because of their attributes, their looks. The world was not the same for them again. And as he was mentioning even the red air, it just felt like he was saying they didn't have warning, and he didn't want to be the one not to at least make us aware of the different things that can affect our genetics.
Well, there's not too much that we come into contact with anymore that's not going to affect it in one way or another.
And it felt very cautionary because with the veil thinning and more sightings of off-planet, potentially off-planet energies, things like this, it felt like it was very important for us to be aware of disturbances to the atmosphere, because even sound warfare, light warfare, things like this are lethal to the atmosphere in the vibration and the disturbance that it creates, which can also incur things like the meteor showers. And, you know, it just felt like a preventative message.
I know, I just saw something step from left to right up there.
Yeah, there's somebody standing right here, too, up on the hill.
Alright, well, let us get this tree set up and we'll be back in just a moment. Alright, so we were talking about the blue eggs, and there's 3 of them in that bag. Those are from our Ericanas, and they consistently lay that light powder blue egg.
Yep.
So that is what we're talking about in comparison to the standard brown or the standard white eggs.
Mm-hmm.
And today we have most of their favorites. Got their apples and sardines, some herring and mustard sauce, peanut butter, little sausages, canister of the little potato sticks, a bag of sunflower seeds, popcorn. Come around here, there's a bag of dried cherries, a big bag of cornbread, and some moon pies. And it is warm out here again.
Definitely.
Are you ready to get back there to the back, and we'll get the rest of this done? Look here. That little baseball.
Oh my goodness.
Where did we leave that? Over at Junior's log or at this
I
tree?
think so. Boy, that's been a while.
That's been, God, 6 or 8 months ago. Well, there it is.
Messing with it.
But there are so many possibilities out there for the reason things are the way that they are. And if you get stuck on just reading ancient literature, that's an interpretation at the time by whoever wrote it, their perception, their perspective, their version of what they think things are. You look at the forensics of the planet and start getting into the layers of ice, like in Antarctica, and it wouldn't surprise me if they haven't unleashed different germs and things that have been buried for thousands of years digging up ice cores.
In the cores. Mm-hmm.
Feel one moving around back there. I know I saw something step left or right earlier, right before we set the tree up. I could feel one of them.
And sometimes they'll just pace us as we go, see what we've got, what we're doing.
I'll try to wait till late afternoon for the daylight videos right now because it's been so hot. Now there's something I haven't heard for a while.
Helicopter.
The Black Hawk flying over.
Mm-hmm. Be brittle, dry. These poor leaves, they're already falling.
Well, go ahead and set that up real quick and we'll ring the dinner bell and see if anybody's awake.
We'll do it.
Pretty much the same standard fare as the first tree.
Yeah.
You hear that walking over there?
Like Trump. Somebody's positioning themselves for snacks, I suspect.
Well, you've got that down to a fine art now.
Mm-hmm. Well, they seem to finally give us some more limbs that they didn't mind working with. For a long time we were having to set it low.
You need me to open those?
I think I can get them. I got myself.
It's just hot sauce, it won't hurt you.
Mm-hmm. Hold that one for me.
Polar herring fillets and mustard sauce.
Oh,
Sardines and Louisiana hot sauce.
Junior, how do we love you? God knows. This boy's trying to kill me in the nicest way. I feel like they're moving up. Keep seeing stuff. All right.
Oh, I forgot to put a napkin, or no, there is a rag in the bottom of that bucket. There you go.
There we are.
Might not be clean, but you can wipe your finger
great.
on it.
I don't know what my life would be if I didn't smell like sardines, hot sauce. It's probably why they follow us around.
Yeah, that's go over there and ring the dinner bell and let these guys have at it. Now they left them alone. That's exactly how I stacked them the last time.
We had 3 rocks.
I found that little 4th one and laid it up there.
Okay.
You ready, guys?
Come on.
I don't think you hit that very well. There he is. You gotta wake them up. Break a few rocks. Alright guys, so that was our thoughts for the day. Blue eggs and viral genetic mutations. Hope you enjoyed coming out with us, and we'll catch you next time down the trail. Thanks.